Hey yo, it's your girl Trillian the Gutter Rat here, and this is Gutter Rants about Ratshaker.
Are you tired of dealing with pesky rats that just won't leave you alone? Introducing RATSHAKER, the fast, easy, and fun way to keep rats in check. Just hold, shake, and watch that meter.
So we're doing something a little different today. I was thinking about doing a 2 hours or less review of Ratshaker, but my playtime was 55 minutes, and once you get this game working, it's a 30-hour or 30-minute experience. Um, but I did not get it working until my third time. And I want to talk about my experience. I'm not trying to dissuade anyone from playing this game. It was made in a 48-hour game jam session, and what they did is impressive. The visuals, I do really enjoy that kind of PS2 era aesthetic, that 2.5D style that they do. It's cool. I like it. I like that a lot. The sound design was great. The voice acting was funny, goofy, serious when it needed to be. The story itself, is about domestic violence, and I think when you have goofy, funny talking rat mixed with that, it can be kind of a tonal whiplash. And I don't know if the story is kind of served the gravity in the way it might deserve, the way they did it. That's, for each individual person to determine on their own. But for me, I don't think it really worked. But yeah, visuals, audio, great. Story wasn't for me. Gameplay, it's a walking simulator. A lot of people have very strong opinions about walking simulators. I think they can be enjoyable. I really like the Stanley Parable. I had a lot of fun with that. Beginner Story is really good, and I like that one a lot. I replay that one, maybe once every 2 to 3 years. So, if walking sims aren't your thing, this isn't going to be your thing. But I do want to talk about my experience playing this game. So the intro sequence, when you kind of pop out into the world and start the game, to when the house appears in the distance, is, I have in my notes right here. The first time was 3 minutes and 35 seconds. The second time was 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Fourth was 3 minutes and 20 seconds. And the fourth, I might have said that wrong. Third was 3 minutes and 20 seconds. Fourth was 3 minutes and 15 seconds. That's 13 minutes and 40 seconds of doing the intro in what is a half-hour long game. That was frustrating, and I'll tell you why. The first time I did it, you get to the front door of the house, and you have to open it by squeezing the rat, pressing right mouse button, all that stuff. It didn't work, and I ended up squeezing the rat too hard and having to reset the game, and I was like, that's weird. I don't know what happened there. It could have been on me. Maybe I did something wrong. The second time, same issue. I went into the menu and was looking at the settings and trying to figure out what the heck was going on. I couldn't really figure out what was going on, but when I closed the menu, I was able to hit the right mouse button and open the door. So that was good. That was fine. Inside, I was searching around, and I had this error pop up or glitch pop up. I have no idea what triggered this, and I had to restart again. So that was frustrating. Third time, and like that beginning sequence, I think is meant to kind of frustrate you because it is so long. You shake your mouse, all that stuff. Shake your mouse, but it's a rat. Anyways, I think it's meant to frustrate players. And, I think if that was the first time, it would have been like, haha, goofy, fun, whatever. And, it would have been enjoyable or something like that. But having to do it 4 times is crazy. So, third time around, I do it, and instead of going to the house, because I had so many issues there, I went to the barn. And spoiler alert for anyone who wants to, experience this game blind. I don't want to ruin anything for you too much. So there you go. Spoilers. This is what happens. It was funny. I did get a chuckle out of it, but it does make you restart the game. And having to do the intro a fourth time almost broke me. It's just so long. You're shaking your mouse for so long, and having to do this on a fourth go around when the first two were not my fault was frustrating. It was frustrating, but I did it. And on the fourth time I went into the house and I was able to complete the game. I didn't have any issues beyond that. And on the fourth time I was able to go into the house and complete the game, and I didn't have any issues beyond that. And once I did that, it was, a half an hour experience. And yeah, a good portion of my time was spent on the intro, and I did not enjoy that. So I'm trying to think about how I would think about this game if I didn't have those issues right at the beginning. It's not a great first impression. I think I would still have issues with the story being this kind of like goofy rat character, while also trying to tell, a serious story about domestic violence, domestic abuse. I think that deserves some gravity, and I don't know how you would balance goofiness with that. I don't know if you should. I think maybe you know it when you see it when it works, and to me, it just didn't work. Graphically, I did like that a lot. I really did. I love that PS1, PS2 aesthetic. 2.5D is awesome. I wish more games would do that. Audio, again, awesome. I thought it was good. The voice acting, taking the story out of account, I thought was good. The sound effects were good, all that stuff. The ending, again, maybe some spoiler warnings here. It's a jump scare ending, and that's a thing. I'm not a big jump scare fan. I like horror, but I prefer my horror in the kind of dread and existential sort of genres. I'm not a big fan of jump scares and stuff like that. So yeah, an odd experience. Probably not a typical one. I don't want to discourage anyone who's interested in playing this from playing it, but yeah, I had too many issues. I think it kind of left a bad taste in my mouth when it comes to this game. And I wanted to do my first 5 videos with rats or vermin in mind, and it's really unfortunate that I had such a bad experience with this one. But yeah, let me know if you do play it or have played it, what you think, or if you did have any issues, or if I was just an odd case study in the game breaking. Until next time, peace. Hey yo, editing ultra lame here. Thank you for watching. I appreciate that. Doing something a little different with RATSHAKER, primarily because it didn't really fit the format of a 2 hours or less review. Speaking of which, I never really explained in those first two why I'm doing 2 hours or less. The initial concept, right, was, the Steam refund window is 2 hours or less of gameplay. I think Epic Games does that as well. Within the first 10 days or 14 days, I'm not too sure on that. But, basically looking at games through the lens of initial impressions. Does it hook you? Is it good enough within those first 2 hours to keep going? Because, games, there are a lot out there, and they do take up a lot of time. And I think those initial impressions are important. And I'm trying to figure out maybe how to address that in future videos. I think for the first two, probably good to just add it to the description. Maybe in future videos I'll have a little blurb about it, what I'm trying to do there. But yeah, that's kind of the idea there for real this time. Until next time, peace.